Greetings everyone. Today I'm going to demonstrate for you a brain generation. Now today, here is the beat that I was listening to. Now this beat is created by one of the best producers I've ever met. His name, he goes by Sanguine Instrumentals. Link in the comment section below, you'll be able to kind of see more of his work. But that's, me and him are locked in, so don't even try. Now, when it comes to a lot of the work that I do, I try to do something pretty deep. Sometimes I'm going into a particular subject with a lot of research already in mind, but sometimes, you know, we kind of go off the feeling of the beat. Like, what is the feeling of the beat? And the feeling of the beat sometimes gives you the subject. So I did that here, and this is what I'm going to do today. I'm just going to listen to this beat and kind of show y'all a little bit of my process. Of course, this is a sped up version of what took me maybe a couple of hours. Now, I was hearing this beat, and it was this feeling that I was getting. I was feeling this particular feeling of the beat, and that particular beat, man, it just makes you feel like it's definitely a spiritual experience, but then you kind of feel like something about life and death in there. I don't know why I'm thinking life and death in that. Maybe it's the voice, but it's like life and death is in there. And you know, I think of death is, you know, somewhat of a taboo subject. People are afraid to talk about it. Of course, you know, for obvious reasons, right? But that's where my brain was going. So one thing is, I don't want to be morbid. So if I'm gonna go about this, I don't want to be morbid. So let's see. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. So my soul getting poked. What it's feeling like. What it's feeling like. So something I want to rhyme with feeling like something with feeling like. I just want to rhyme with feeling like. I just like how feeling like sounds over a beat like this. What it's feeling like. Okay. All right. Like my soul getting poked. Like my soul get. I like soul getting poked. I do like soul getting poked. I think. I hope people understand what I mean by like your soul getting poked. Like you feel something deep. You know. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's weird, but I mean, I've already accepted that already this subject may not be something people want to even delve it too deep into, you know, so, but I'm starting there. All right, soul getting poked. So what it's feeling like my soul getting poked, but it's feeling like, all right, so maybe I'm gonna rhyme with that. Soul getting poked, but it's feeling like, all right, real cold. It's real cold. Real cold and it blows. Real cold and it blows. Real cold and it blows in the winter night. Okay. I like that. I like it real cold and it blows in the winter night. Something about that. There's something about that kind of stands out. I don't know. It's like I've heard, you know, anytime they speak about heaven or whatever. You know, they always refer to it as being over the clouds and stuff. And, you know, if you actually went above the clouds, if you actually went above the altitude, it's cold up there. You know, you think of the mountain, Mount Everest, 29,141 feet high. If you actually stand on the tip of that mountain, it's pretty cold. That's why it's so interesting. You know, people freeze over before they can even get at the top. But you know, it's something that they feel about with heaven. Like people just think it's cold up there, which I don't think so. But it may give them, you know, it might trigger some, you know, some sensory and some auditory, you know, thoughts that kind of tells them, okay, this is like above. This is like heavenly. This is like above the clouds or something, you know, something like that. I don't know. Let's keep going. Keep writing it down. So real cold and it blows in the winter night. Real cold and it blows in the winter night. So close to the doors. So close to the doors. All right, so close to the doors. What doors? What doors are we close to? Maybe it's some kind of doors. And I mean, you can talk about being at the step of heaven's door. You know, so close to the doors. So close to the doors. But it flickers. But why does it flicker? This is what I be having to do all the time when I'm writing, and just be like, I want it to make sense. So if it's gonna flicker, why did it flicker? It flickered for a reason. Something flickered. So let's see. Let's keep going now. So close to the doors, but it flickers. So close to the doors, but it flickers like. So close to the doors, but it flickers like. I see the image. Yep, there's something in there. I see the image and it's gone. Yep. It flickers like. I see the image and it's gone. As if it rewrites. See? That's how that's supposed to go. That's how that's supposed to go. So I'm so close to the doors, but it flickers like. I see the image and it's gone as if it rewrites. So it's like, I feel like I see heaven's doors, and then it just kind of goes away. It flickers away. It flickers where I see it, and then it flicks. And it's like I see that in real life, you know. But it just seemed like I need to build on that imagery a little bit. I just don't think everyone's gonna get it by just me saying this. It just seemed like you would probably have to read to be able to kind of imagine. You would have to kind of pick apart each word. I think I gotta build on it. So let's see. But I like it though. I like the flow of it. Like, you know, what it's feeling like my soul getting poked, but it's feeling like it's real cold and it blows in the winter night. So close to the doors, but it flicker like. I see the image and it's gone as if it rewrites. I like that. It's just the flow of that, you know, just the flow of it. The flow of that with this beat. I like it. Let's see. Daydreaming of his throne. Daydreaming of his throne. I like daydreaming. The reason I like daydreaming is because everybody know what daydreaming is. You know what that is. You can't really confuse what daydreaming is. Okay, so daydreaming of his throne. Yup. So I got daydreaming of his throne where he's sitting high. So daydreaming of his throne where he's sitting high. Yep. Daydreaming of his throne and where he's sitting high. Back to my senses, trying to focus and get a lot. Oh, yep. I don't know. Maybe people will be able to picture that. I don't know. Maybe you can see it. Like, you know, daydreaming of his throne where he's sitting high. Then back to my senses, trying to focus and get a lot. Like, you know, how are you not seeing that, right? But, you know, maybe I need to build on it some more. I like that though. Daydreaming of his throne where he's sitting high. Then back to my senses, try to focus and get a line. Like, it all goes with that image kind of flickering. Like I keep feeling like I'm close, like I'm right there, and I can see God. And some people, you know, I've heard, not to say that these are real experiences, but people just sometimes when they have these daydreams or certain premonitions, as they would say, I think they call them premonitions, where it's like they know their time is coming. And some people would explain that like I seen the gates of heaven open or something like that. You know, they'll use different words. I'm drifting away, or, you know, like it's certain words that they'll use that may sound cryptic and make a person feel like, wow, you know your time is coming. And it's almost like if you've ever known somebody that was about to pass away, it's like it'd be like they knew. They're preparing, like they're getting ready, you know. But daydreaming of his throne, because I'm still dealing with this life and death thing, and I really want it to be clear, and I think that's what I gotta build on. I want it to be clear that it's not that I want to unalive myself, because I know I can't use that other word. Not that I want to unalive myself. It's something deeper than that. So, alright, daydreaming of his throne where he's sitting high, then back to my senses, try to focus and get a line. So, okay, focus and get a line. Okay, when heaven's gates start to open. When heaven's gates start to open, what's happening? What's happening when that heaven's gates start to open? Something's happening when heaven's gates start to open. Okay, so when heaven's gates start to open within my eyes, when heaven's gates start to open within my eyes, it's just like this last line is the one that gotta be powerful. Let me see. That part of me dead. That part of me dead. I like that. When heaven's gates start to open within my eyes, that part of me dead. And it's gone. But I'm still alive. I love that. I love that. See, that's fire. I think that's a fire line. That part of me dead and it's gone, but I'm still alive. That's fire. I think that's a great build up, and I think it kind of keep everything in context. Yep. I think that does exactly what I wanted to do. I think that did exactly what I wanted to do. That's what be fun about this. Okay, so I'm on a different part of the beat here. Now on this part of the beat, I want to change the flow up a little bit. So let's see, but there's no detection. So I'm still kind of dealing with, all right, I'm dead. It's dead and it's gone, but it's still alive. So it's no detection. You can't detect it. You don't know whether or not that person is alive or not. I kind of look at it a little different. Like, okay, you got no detection. You know, I look at it more so like, you know, imagine you had the military and they're able to kind of sense, you know, different live targets by the thermal detection and stuff like that. I'm thinking about it like that. Like, you know, we walking around and, you know, even the military and all the little technology and all stuff that you got can't detect us. You know, but this on the, of course, deeper level than that. All right, so I like no detection, so I might want to do some rhymes with no detection. So I feel like no detection, my post connects to what my soul is etching. No detection, my post connects to what my soul is etching. I like that. I think that all goes together. Like the no detection, it's like you look at the machine and it's almost seems like there's nothing happening. But then you look at my pulse, like if I was in the hospital, and you know how that machine look like it's writing something. I don't know what the name of that machine is. But whatever the name of that machine is, it looked like it's writing a signature or it looked like it's writing something. So that's like, you know, my post connects to what my soul is etching, like it's etching something on that screen. And then, let me see, as I keep going, my soul is etching. What my soul is etching. So where do you go after that? What do you do after that? The soul is etching. Go and check, you see it wrote a message. Go and check, you see it wrote a message. So, okay, I'm there. Go and check, you see it wrote a message. But see the translation. All right, something with translation. There's something with translation that we could do there. The message, the translation, I like it. And it's like the machine is writing a message, and then there's a translation, and that translation, there's something deep we could do with translation. So how can I rhyme this? The translation, it goes to heaven. That is fire. I like that. I like it because translation is really deep. Like just the word translation, because if you go in the Bible, there's a scripture that talks about Elijah, Jesus, and Moses going up a mount, and on that particular mount there was a translation, you know, really a transfiguration, but it also is translations that are spoken of there in the Bible, which is not necessarily just talking about language being translated. So there's something deep to that translation. So if I was to match that with, you know, my post connects to what my soul is etching, go and check, you see it wrote a message, but see the translation, it goes to heaven. So it's like whatever that machine is writing is getting translated to God. What kind of imagery? That'll be some interesting imagery. And it's still playing on that thing of like trying to see if I can keep putting this image in your head of something died, but it's being translated, it's being transformed in some kind of way, right? All right, so supposed to connect to what my soul is etching. go and check, you see it wrote a message, but see the translation, it goes to heaven. Okay, when I write like this, I'm astral projected. When I write like this, I like that. When I write like this, I'm astral projected. Not a ghost for presence. All right, so RBG. I like astral projection. I like speaking about that, you know, because even that's still building on this life and death thing. But minute you say astral, you're gonna have some people talking about, oh, a hotep. You're like, you don't even know what a hotep is, you know, and like the real definition of who Imhotep is. But, you know, other than that, you know, if people actually looked up astral presence and all of that, you get a lot. But I do like distinguishing that from ghost for presence. So I do like that. So I'm gonna keep ghost for presence. So okay, let's try. So when I write like this, I'm astral projected, not a ghost for presence, but it goes direct. So it goes direct. Goes direct where? Where is it going? It's going somewhere. It goes direct. Where's it going? If it goes direct, I want it to go somewhere. Until you get the eyes of God. So it goes direct until you get the eyes of God. So you done went up, and now I'm right here, and I'm receiving the eyes of God. Because whatever translated, it then translated and went to him up there in heaven. Alright, so if it goes to God, the eyes of God, and what is amazing about God's eyes? I mean, it's too much to say, right? It's way too much. Maybe until you get the eyes of God, and there's no protection. Skeletons in your closet, he the bone collector. What? I love that line. Skeletons in your closet, he the bone collector. It's like, how many people have put that together? That I like that. Okay. Because that's God's eyes. It's not my eyes. It's God's eyes. You know, where it's like there's no protection. There's nothing you can hide from. Skeletons in your closet, he the bone collector. I love it. Okay, so bone collector. I like that line. This is the type of stuff to make you want to keep writing, because now, like, once you get a line like that, it's like, yeah, I have to see this through. I don't know where else. I know it's still dealing with life and death up in here. Okay. So I want to stay there. So what can I do? Let's see a translation. It goes to heaven. When I write like this, I'm astral projected, not a ghost for presence, but it goes direct until you get the eyes of God, where there's no protection. Skeletons in your closet, he's a bone collector. Grows in pressure. It grows in pressure. Okay, grows in pressure. Because I just like grows in pressure. I like that rhyme scheme. Grows in pressure like the ocean depth. That makes sense. That's why you see me in this suit that I wore. I'm dressed up. Now, I like dressed up, but I like pressed up more. Dressed up, pressed up. That's why you see me in the suit that I wore. I'm pressed up. I just think pressed goes with pressure more. Even though dressed up looks good, but it's like I don't know how well people are gonna be able to kind of go through that imagery there, but that's kind of like, you know, you in a deep water ocean suit, and to go deep in the waters, and you are experiencing a lot of pressure, so you gotta have a strong, you know, powerful suit on. But I'm also relating that to, like, you know, when I'm dressed up in my suit, when I'm at spiritual meetings, it's like it represents a different level of pressure, you know, that's on me. I wouldn't really expect many people to really understand that. You would have to have been somebody that's kind of in some kind of You would have to be part of some kind of spiritual program or something to truly understand that. Maybe, you know, but, you know, beyond that, it says pressed up. The suit that I wore, pressed up. Sitting in my funeral, because I'm still in my suit. Sitting in my funeral, that shows my shell, they so concerned with my past. You don't know who's next to you. I like that. It's like, imagine me go to my own funeral. Sitting at my funeral that shows my shell. My shell is like the old self that died. It shows my shell, they so concerned with my past, you don't know who's next to you. I like that. Like, you know, the old, that's like the old, that's keeping it in context. That's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want. Where you're understanding, I'm not dying physically. I'm not unaliving myself physically. This is like a part of myself that's dying. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's try. Alright, they so concerned with my past, you don't know who's next to you. Pose a question. So what's the question you gonna pose? Pose a question. Pose a question. Pose a question. Let's see. Pose a question, but I hope you're ready. I just don't like, I don't like going, I like pose a question, but I hope you ready, and question is close, but I just don't like it, but I might need to kind of come off of that for a second. Pose a question, but I hope you're ready for the answer. Pose a question, but I hope you're ready for the answer. So if you pose this question, you better hope you're ready for the answer. There's a Holy Quran verse out there that, you know, you will receive the answer, and it will depend on whether or not you're able to, I mean, will you be able to handle the answer? So I do want to delve into that, because that still kind of deals with that life and death thing. You know, you know, once you come to the end, you kind of, but, you know, I'm talking about this on a much different spiritual level. You know, my base here, the base for the reason I'm talking about death in this way is the glorious Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He just gives us a very good clarification on the fact that death is really just talking about mental death. Transmutation is when the body actually goes back to the earth. Whole bunch of studies that go into that, but that's kind of the base of where my mind is going if I was to, you know, when I talk about death, right? All right, pose a question, but I hope you're ready for the answer. It might be way more than you ever can imagine. It might be way more than you ever can imagine. Yep, I like that. Because ready for the answer, way more than you ever could imagine. Like it way more. So it may be way more than you ever could imagine. Like it way more in measure. Yep. Like it way more in measure to be handled. And that'll break your perception. That'll break, I like that. I like it. That's how that came. That's how that come together. That'll break your perception. I think that break your perception goes perfectly with you posing a question that you may not necessarily be ready for. That's great. All right, I think I got something here. I think I got something pretty deep here. I don't know. I don't know. This is coming together pretty well. I don't know. Maybe I should try. I could. Usually, what I do is before I even start recording, I'm gonna finish it before I record. So let's go to the next part of the beat. All right. So now here.